Hey, welcome to today's live stream. Uh, Even though the title is about California's state of emergency, about the BIRDFLU, I'm not necessarily going to talk about that. You probably already know about it. You're probably familiar with what's going down. I'm going to talk about like a tangential idea that really became very clear to me during the last 3 or 4 years, and that is the idea that trends start in California and New York and even Seattle, and they move inward into the center part of the country. And they start to those places. My observation and my understanding and my the what I see, they start in those places because huge population centers, right? I mean, trends for fashion, restaurants, um, business opportunities, trends start in California, New York, and Seattle, and they move into the center part of the United States. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. Not necessarily the fact that they're doing this there, which is, I don't know what they see. Remember during COVID, they had some of the harshest, longest lockdowns of anywhere in the country. It was like wild, and especially when you contrast it with Florida and the relative freedom that they had there. But what's concerning here is that we saw this coming. We see what they're very authoritarian, they're very totalitarian, they're very oppressive of their people there. And as a person living in the central states, I don't want that to come to my state. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to come to any more states, because basically they look very authoritarian and oppressive in that state. Many businesses had to close down. People lost everything. Many people fled California in the first go around. And the fact that they're now doing another state of emergency, it confirms what many of us thought was going to happen, or kind of, had a premonition would happen down the line, and here they are doing it again. It's wild. It's super wild. So I'm looking at an article here from NPR talking about the state of emergency that they declared. This is an article from the 20th. Um, I guess this stuff is getting into livestock too. I don't really follow much of this stuff because it seems so bizarre to me. I can't wrap my mind around the fact that our government is spending their time following this, given the fact that our national debt is 35 trillion. People are having trouble paying for their day-to-day living expenses, inflationary costs. Like, this kind of thing here seems so far down the totem pole of problems and challenges that Americans are facing. That's why I'm just not paying attention. And I don't think many people are paying attention, to be quite honest. All the PPE, they're talking about all the personal protective equipment, gloves, masks, etc., that the country or the state has handed out and or is using. I just think it's wild. I think it's absolutely wild. Um, but it has some tied into the animals in some way, and I don't know. I don't trust them for whatever they do, but I just don't want these trends to come into the center part of the United States, because I just don't see that as being. You cannot have a prosperous, thriving country that is under this type of government authoritarianism, and totalitarianism. There is something to be said for keeping people safe, but at the end of the day, you have to live your life. You've got to go do your thing. So, just a short live today. I wanted to talk about that, and we'll see if my live streams are flipped back around. I mean, it's been a while that they haven't been flipped around. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you soon.